Welcome to Keeping It Nerdy, where we talk about all things nerdy all the time. And today we are discussing my 10-year anniversary trip. Well, John and I's 10-year anniversary trip. And to start off, though, I wanted to kind of look back at some of the vacations we have had in the past from Disneyland and Disney World. So I gotta go way back. The first time I ever went to a Disney park was Disneyland, and it was back in, I believe, 2003 or 2004. I went with my best friend. The year after that, I went with another friend of mine who we had a blast because we went with her and her family. And then my sister and I took my mom down for her birthday. That was so much fun because that was the first time my mom had ever went to Disney. And then my husband and I's honeymoon, we went to Disneyland. And then we had lived in Florida, which meant we lived 15 minutes away from Disney World. We had annual passes, so we went all the time. And while we were there, my parents came to visit us for Christmas, and I took my mom and dad to Disney World. That's the first time they had ever been to Disney World, and that was a blast. That summer, we had my two older kids down, and they got to go to the parks as well at Disney World. So that was fun. But I think my favorite trip to Disney World was with my mom and my dad, because seeing my dad's face and going, oh my goodness, how is it possible that I never planned a Disney vacation and took you guys there? And I'm like, because you constantly told us it was expensive and you didn't want to do it. It's true. It's not cheap. But at the same time, I think it would have been fun if he did. However, taking him when he was older, that was a blast. We skipped a year, and then I think it was a year after we moved to Massachusetts. The summer, we had went with the entire family to Disneyland. So we flew out, met my parents and my two older kids in Disneyland, and we flew to Disneyland first and stayed at a hotel, just the two of us, while we waited for them to drive down. We had my mom, my brother-in-law, nephew, my sister, my dad, me, John, and my two kids. We had 9 people there. However, this was my dad's first time at Disneyland. Now, he'd been to Disney World, but Disneyland is different, always is. He really liked Disneyland a lot, and he loved the Cars ride. That was definitely one of his favorites. And then that same year in September, we lost our dog. And then 2 days later, we lost my dad. After we lost my dad, we were like, okay, well, we've got to go again. We've got to go to Disneyland again at some point. And so we were planning to go the next summer. Well, we decided not to go the next summer and waited it because I had found out I was pregnant during that summer. So I was like, well, probably shouldn't go to Disney while I'm pregnant because that won't be fun. So we had planned it afterwards. Well, in between there, we lost my husband's dad. And then we went down there with my newest little one when she was 6 months old. And then we went back 2 years ago to Disney World. So that was a trip that has a lot more memories as well, because, I mean, taking a little girl who's 2 years old to Disney World, that's really fun because she kind of understands it now. And she was like, oh, there's these characters that I know. And she was really excited to meet Tinkerbell, BB-8, Groot, oh my goodness. And some of her interactions with these characters were priceless, and I loved it. That was kind of a quick synopsis of all of the times we've ever been to Disney. And it kind of became an addiction, so we've tried to go every other year. We've tried to go back. Well, it just so happens that our 10-year anniversary lands on the every other year part. Yay! So we decided we'll go to Disney World. Now, quick run through of how John and I met, because if I'm going to talk about our 10-year anniversary, I should talk about how we met and how we started that 10-year trip. So we met on eHarmony during Valentine's Day weekend. He sent me some questions. I answered them. I was actually interested in a lawyer and not him at first, but I kept saying, who is this weird guy from Burns? He lives too far away. It's this tiny little town. I didn't understand. If you don't know where Burns is, Burns, Oregon is literally 2 hours away from everything. It's 2 hours away from anything north, south, east, west. It's in the middle of nowhere. And so was a lot of other towns, like Riley. That's in the middle of nowhere too. We met face to face March 20th of 2009, and then exactly a year later, on March 21st, a year and a day later, we got married. He proposed to me, I think, in April or May of 2009. So it was very fast, but we knew we wanted to at least stay engaged for almost 10 years later. Like I said, we've had kind of a lot that has gone on in the last 10 years since our honeymoon and on. Yeah, it was definitely time for, I think, him and I to plan a vacation that just was the two of us. We are going down in February. We're spending 10 days in Disney World from the February 26th to March 7th. We're actually staying for the first 2 days with a couple friends of ours that live down there. We met them when we were living in Florida, and we get to stay with them, get to see their kids, get to hang out with them for a while. So that'll be fun. And then on the 28th, that's when we check into our resort. We will be staying at the Port Orleans French Quarter Resort. If you haven't seen it before, it's really awesome. I mean, the place is just amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. The aesthetics are very like downtown New Orleans sort of style, and I really enjoy that. I think the only thing that throws me off about that resort is the pool. The pool, yeah, it has a serpent slide going into the pool. It just, I don't know. That's the only thing that bugs me is the pool. Everything else is great. So we planned for having a 4-day pass, not a park hopper, but just a 4-day pass to the parks, which meant that we would go into each park, like one park a day. So we would do Hollywood Studios first, because got to get Hollywood Studios in, and then Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and Magic Kingdom. A couple of friends of ours that live out here, they're going down as well, and we thought, well, you know, they're going down at the same exact time we are, so we figured we're going to basically spend our vacation partially with them and partially on our own. So they're celebrating her birthday and their 15-year anniversary, and we're celebrating our 10-year. So we figured, you know, why not? Why not get together on the days that we're going to be there? So the first, second, third, and fourth are basically our main park days. By the way, when I plan a trip, I plan a trip. Okay? I mean, I plan a trip. This is all planning, right? Well, her and I started planning together in a coffee shop for about 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours, I think. But we figured out, you know, when our fast passes were going to be, because we had to set those up literally within 2 days was when we were going to be able to pick our fast passes. And while we were doing that, I thought, man, it'd be really great to have a couple more days in the park, because how I had it set up was we'd go to the resort on the 28th. We'd spend, you know, the 28th, 29th, since it's leap year, at the resort, and then we'd have the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the parks. We were gonna go to Universal Studios Orlando on the 5th, and then stay at the resort on the 6th, basically have a resort day on the 6th, and then fly home on the 7th. I kept thinking, I'm like, it'd be really nice to have a couple more resort days. And Universal Orlando, as much as I love it, and I would love to go back to Harry Potter World because I haven't done the second half of it, it was really expensive just for John and I for 2 parks. It was going to be $394. And I was like, well, I wonder how much it would cost to upgrade our tickets to 2 extra days and add the park hopper option. Yeah, it was $190 less than going to Universal Studios for 1 day. So we figured, okay, we're going to add 2 days and the park hopper option. So now we are going to Disney World for 6 days in the parks. I am most excited about Galaxy's Edge. I know my husband is too. We plan on going into Savi's workshop and getting the lightsabers. I'm very excited about getting my own lightsaber. My husband wanted to make one too. And I told him, I go, honey, these are $200 each. Okay, not $200 together, $200 each for these lightsabers. Granted, you're paying for the experience as well. But I'm like, we don't really need it. And he's like, but then how are we going to duel? I can't really argue with that. However, I told him, well, at Dok-Ondar's, you can actually pick a lightsaber of one of the characters. So you can get Kylo Ren's lightsaber or Rey's, Luke's, Princess Leia's even. And so I told him, I go, you could pick from one of those because those range from $109 to $200. Kylo Ren's is $150, and from then on, it's just everything else is cheaper. I don't know what Kylo's is so expensive. Anyway, so I told him he could get one of those, but leave the building of the lightsaber experience to moi. I already know what color of blade I want to pick. It's going to be purple. Yes, I love Mace Windu. He's definitely one of my favorite Jedis. Hollywood Studios, we are now doing on March 1st. Again, we're just staying there all day on March 1st. Now, the main things we wanted to make sure we got done was to get there extremely early because you have to get boarding passes for Galaxy's Edge. So I had this all written down on my schedule, set to go, and I was like, oh sweet, okay, my schedule's done. I have it ready to go for the 1st. And then they changed some hours. I was like, guys, seriously. I mean, granted, we still have 48 days left until our arrival, but it's annoying when you've written out the schedule already and then they change things and now you have to rewrite the schedule. So before, when I first did this, the extra magic hours were going to be in the morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then the actual park would open at 9 a.m. Well, they changed the Hollywood Studios extra magic hour to even the evening. Granted, I'm not complaining about that. I kind of like the fact that it's going to be 8 p.m. to 10, or actually it's going to be, I think it's going to be 9 p.m. to 11 because they close usually at 9. But I had already planned for the last day to do stuff at night there. However, we are still planning on being at Galaxy's Edge in the morning. So I still have to be there at the time that it opens because we have reservations to do the making of the droids. We are making 2 droids at 9:30 and 9:40 in the morning. And then we have our Savi's Workshop reservation at 11:25. This just means that in the evening after the park closes, we'll just be going back to Galaxy's Edge and spending more time there. And from there, we also are going to Oga's Cantina. I'm very excited to try out Oga's Cantina. Animal Kingdom is the next day. The things we really like at Animal Kingdom is Mount Everest. And of course the new ride, the Flight of Passage. Now 2 years ago when we took the kids down, we only got to ride it once because the lines were so long and it had already been open for over a year. It was literally like a 2-hour wait. And I'm like, I don't know if I can wait that long. So we actually went in the evening for that trip. It was a really fun ride and totally worth it. And the queue line is beautiful. We have the extra magic hours in the morning for that day, so we'll be getting up early, staying up late the night before, getting up early the next day, and doing Pandora during rope drops. So that'll be fun. I'm excited for that. We also have it planned to do a fast pass for a Flight of Passage in the evening, because you have to go back and see Pandora at night. It's gorgeous. And then the next day is Epcot. Their magic hours are in the evening. Hopefully they don't change that, but if they do, that's not a big deal. And then Magic Kingdom is the last day. So again, some of the things that we really look forward to in these parks is meeting the characters. Like, I've never met Mickey and Minnie together. I've always met Mickey, or I've met Minnie. Never together. I want to meet them together. So we get to meet them together this time, which will be fun. Anna and Elsa, I haven't gotten to meet. I haven't met Snow White yet, which I really want to. I haven't met Aladdin and Jasmine or Ralph and Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph. I love them. And I've met all the Star Wars characters, but I got to meet them again. The last 2 days that we added on, since it's park hopper option, we decided we're starting the day in Epcot because the extra magic hours for that day is in the morning. And so we're going there early, spending till 1 o'clock there, having lunch in Epcot because lunch at Epcot's amazing. And then going to Animal Kingdom in the evening. Then the next day, we'll do Magic Kingdom in the morning and Hollywood Studios at night. Yes, I am actually going to be ending my vacation with Galaxy's Edge. I'm starting it with Galaxy's Edge. I'm ending it with Galaxy's Edge. I have to. I just, can't tell, I'm really excited about it. We have dining reservations for quite a few places that I'm excited about. Be Our Guest, which I've eaten there before, but I've never eaten there with my husband. And we've got dining reservations with our friends down there, so, or with our friends that are going to be there as well. So that'll be fun. It's going to be the lunch reservation though, so it's not the expensive dinner one. But the lunch is still good. Like their lunch food is just as good as their dinner food, and you still get the great stuff. The only downfall is that you don't get to meet Beast during the lunch. You have to meet him during dinner time, which kind of saddens me, but I didn't want to have to spend the high prices for dinner since we're going to be doing a couple other big dinners later. For instance, we're still trying to work out getting us onto the reservations for Ohana's with our friends, but hopefully we'll get that. And then the day that we leave, so the day that we fly out, we are actually having a character breakfast. Now, most people think character breakfasts are mostly for kids. Not when the princes are there. Come on. So I was really excited because I found out that Rapunzel and Flynn, along with Prince Eric and Ariel, are at the, oh man, now I'm forgetting the name of the restaurant, but they have a character breakfast called Bon Voyage Adventure. And I'm like, that's quite fitting for our last day in Florida. So we're doing that at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we fly out at about, I think, 6:05 in the evening is when we fly out. I already have a plan of what souvenirs I want to get. So we're getting the droids, we're getting the lightsabers. I plan on getting a holocron along with some kyber crystals. And I don't think I said this in the first video, the intro video, but one of my hobbies is collecting mugs, coffee mugs. I have a huge collection of coffee mugs from tons of our Disney trips. Not all of our Disney trips, because some of them broke one year. It was a very sad day. Maybe I'll talk about that, but I don't know. Still breaks my heart. But I always have to get at least one mug from every park, and I already know which mug I'm getting at Galaxy's Edge. It's the Jedi mug. The mug's amazing. And I'm like, well, between that one and the one at Droid Depot, so I'm still thinking about getting the one at Droid Depot. But anytime I see something that's really like a special mug, not, just your typical coffee mug with something written on it, but it has to be in a different shape or form and stuff like that for me to really want it. But yeah, I tend to get one at every place. And at Epcot, I plan on getting a new teapot, even though I have like 4. I even have one from Epcot 2 years ago. I bought a Cinderella one. That one's definitely pretty. And my husband just got me a Snow White one for Christmas. So that one's really pretty too. And I need more teapots and teacups. I don't really have tea all the time, but I definitely want to. So yeah, that is our anniversary trip. We're still planning it. There's a new restaurant that's coming out for Epcot, and it's called Space 220. Yep, I'm keeping a close eye on that one to see if that one comes up at all, because we definitely want reservations for that one. Well, there you have it. Thank you for sticking with me and letting me talk about our trip. I'm very excited about it, and I will definitely be doing videos while I'm there of different activities that we do and some of the things, and even reviewing the park a little bit. And I'll be putting those up on a channel as well, or on this channel. So watch for those when we're back from our vacation. And please join me next week. I'm not exactly sure what our topic will be yet, but I will be posting another video for next week. So thank you very much. Let's keep it nerdy.